Ribo with Expansion Network, accelerating the consciousness of humanity every single day. And as you know, if this is Saturday, we are here with Judy Machado. Hi, Judy. How are you? Good morning.
I'm good. How are you doing? I'm so happy to be here once again. It's Saturday. What a gift and pleasure it is to be here in your company, Angel. And with anyone listening, it's just so beautiful to be in this space of talking about wonderful things, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's been really a special week, and it was already a special weekend last weekend because of the realization. I have to tell you that I have been watching and listening to that realization, Judy, and so I will talk about it later. But yeah, so just to finalize with the introduction, as you know, I'm here in Plano, Texas, north of Dallas. And I'm known here in the US as the CEO confidant in the world of business. And I'm known in Latin America as the president and co-founder of the Wisdom for Kids Foundation. We help underprivileged kids in Latin America become entrepreneurs using their local resources. And this week, before we start with the cacao ceremony, are you ready, Judy? Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So we have here a very, very special guest. He happens to be in one of our personal favorite places in the world, which is Costa Rica. His name is Frank Mondoze. Welcome, Frank. I hope that I was able to pronounce your last name perfectly.
Perfect, Angel. Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. Hello, Judy. Nice to meet you.
Hi. Oh, my God. So beautiful to have you here.
Absolutely. So as you know, for all the audience that watches this show every single Saturday, it's called The Reality Check on the Planet and Living the World Without Fear. For many, many months, Judy was traveling to several of those countries in the world which have no restrictions, almost no restrictions, showing another side of what's going on in the planet right now. She went back to the place where she typically lives, or she has been living, because we are all shedding, we're all transforming. Our lives, our future, our realities are changing as we speak, all of us. And she's in Toronto. And yeah, exactly. So apparently home is for both Judy and Frank is the same country. And isn't it interesting that you're both from Canada? And excuse me, that you both used to live in Canada, and it's one of the countries which actually is being the most difficult to live in. I was talking to other Canadians this week, and they were telling me the exact same thing, right? So maybe to start with, and not to go ahead of myself, Frank, could you please? I'm going to share here in social media the short bio that you shared with me, so everybody knows more about you. But would you mind sharing with the audience who's Frank? Why is Frank so well known, and how did you end up being here with us today, Frank?
Thank you. First and foremost, I'm from Montreal. So actually, Montreal is probably the most strict place in North America. And it really was like choking us. I'm Frank Mondoze. I work in personal development. I'm a lead faculty for the International School of Temple Arts, which is a school that supports people to clear shame, fear, and guilt through a process that is called the spiritual, sexual, shamanic experience. It's in and around the realms of tantra, psychology, somatic body work. So it's getting out of the mind in order to get more in touch with the heart and the body to live a more clear and coherent, congruent life with all our information centers. I'm also the co-founder of the Remember Brotherhood Journey, which is a men's work, but specifically around how do men share power? How do men come together in the realm of brotherhood, not of competition and power over, but power sharing and vulnerability. And I'm also a minister for Venus Rising Association for Transformation, which is a association that focuses on a breath work as the portal into states of non-ordinary reality, which is what shamanism is. Shamanism is that ability to step into other states of reality in order to clear the things that are subconsciously blocking us from us living our most powerful and beautiful life. So I work a lot in the realms of shamanism, personal development, sexuality, and men's work.
Wow.
Wow, exactly. Wow. Okay, so what else can we say, right? And you happen to be right now. Where are you? Because we are hearing these beautiful birds chirping. So where is this
Yes,
beautiful place that you are right now?
I am in Costa Rica, about a half an hour north of the beach town called Nosara, which is in the province of Guanacaste, the northwestern side on the Pacific Ocean. And I've been coming to Costa Rica every year for 10 years, whether it be for 2 weeks or 2 months. I usually find my way into this beautiful country of Costa Rica, which is now pretty easy to get into considering all the COVID restrictions.
Wow. And how long are you living there now? You're living there permanently? Or
No, right now I'm very nomadic. Also, with the work that I do with the ISTA is for short, the International School of Temple Arts. With the ISTA work that I'm doing, I travel from state to state, country to country. Before the pandemic, I was all over the world. You know, over 10 countries. From Iceland to Costa Rica, and from California to I don't know, all the way far as Sweden. So I was like really all over the place. And once this hit, I mean, everything stopped. We all know that. It took away my biggest year, but it's all good. It supported me to refine how I'm meeting the current reality. And something dropped in very clear for me is that I'm going to be spending, I'm going to be investing all my time and energy in what I like to call Turtle Island. Turtle Island is the Native American name for North America, so Canada, United States, and Mexico. So in regards to my work and my gifts, I plan to give it 100% from Canada to Costa Rica, possibly South America as well, but keeping the energy compacted in this territory.
Wonderful. So obviously you're very much, after being nomadic for the last few months with everything that's going on in the world, what would you say, according to your experience, what comes to you? So what do you think humanity is experiencing right now, according to your experience?
Insanity. John Lennon said that the world is being run by crazy people, and that's what I think. I mean, was it an accident? Was it not an accident? Was it part of a 30-year, 50-year plan? I don't know, but one thing that I can take from surface value is that when I look at the response of how we're operating, I see very impotent leaders with very lack of any real vision or talent, and people just these governors or government people really just working to maintain their hold on power. Like if you look in Canada, specifically Quebec or Montreal, you have a premier who has kept us in lockdown since the beginning. We're on curfews until 8 p.m. every night. They're yo-yoing with standards. There's nothing consistent. So I think it's very mediocre people making very mediocre decisions, which are impacting the well-being of their citizens and humanity. So I would say what's going on is mass hysteria and mass insanity.
When I was listening to you and the incredible work that you do in the world, obviously I think that manhood was a consistent idea, concept that was coming to my mind, right? So yes. What I mean, have you, obviously I'm sure you have plenty of time to reflect on this, but I mean, when you put both things, what's going on in the world and manhood, what comes to your mind? What transpires?
Angel, this is a perfect question. What I see what's transpiring here is when we have the unaware masculine energies of the planet as our leaders. If we had aware masculines or mature masculines or empowered masculines, this is not the path we would be operating. The masculine is an energy of presence, of creating safety, witnessing without judgment. And we also have a very chaotic feminine energy. So it's this building up of fear. And so the feminine doesn't feel grounded. She doesn't know what's, and when I'm saying feminine, masculine, I'm not saying men and women. I'm speaking the traits of these polarities. And you know, we see people being drawn into the fear and the propaganda, and therefore reacting from a place of survival, or the idea of survival, even though we are really, really safe for the most part, instead of really just dropping into the safety of that we have always been on this planet. And when you're living in Costa Rica, or you're in nature, if you have the privilege of being in nature, wherever you are in the world, you will see that Mother Earth always is offering her gifts. She always takes care of us. She always nurtures us. There is healing in nature, and there's all the remedies in nature. So if whatever is happening is not, you know, if our immune system can't do it, or if nature can't do it, it must be because it has been an artificially accentuated virus that has a purpose here, and I think the purpose is malevolent. But I mean, that you could say is possibly conspiracy theory, call it what you want, but I've been tracking this insane malevolent energies for at least 3 decades. And so I see everything playing out as it has always been predicted, and as the agendas of the world organizations so clearly present. All it needs is for somebody to take a moment and look at what the agendas have been for the last few decades, and you will know that there has been a process to lead to a place towards a great reset, and that great reset had to come in some shape or form. So this pandemic is a perfect way to push people into this thinking.
Would you, so going back to your practice, so right now you are in Costa Rica, are you going to conduct some sort of retreat? Are you actually going to serve your audience from there? How are you going to do it?
That's a good question. So my plan is to make Costa Rica my new residency. So this is in the process. So I'm currently working with one of my Remember brothers. Remember Journey is the brotherhood project. So me and one of my brothers, Gil Oren, are working on creating a small but potent transformational retreat center here. And it's for, you know, the human spirit. It's a sanctuary for the human spirit and the human animal. So both spirit and animal coming together, recognizing that we are a creature of physical, sexual, and spiritual gifts. And so we want to create a place where we can start drawing people into Costa Rica, and so that I don't have to travel as much, and my message could continue to move out into the world, and our work could continue moving out into the world.
Are you doing any work online now? Anything online to support?
I did during the heavy months, like I think it was June and September. We ran for the first time our Remember journey. So remember, the Brotherhood journey is a 5-day journey. And so we ran a 4-day journey online. And this was called The First Steps to Remember. And remember is a play on words. It's like the word remember, but the spelling is M-E-N in the middle. So remember. Beautiful. And the idea is for men to remember what it is to be an aware masculine, and move beyond the wounding that puts us in the unaware or in the reactive and the unconscious, and also to bring all our pieces back together and remember them, like the story of Isis and Osiris. So it's about bringing ourselves fully back together, retrieving the lost parts of our soul, and and coming back as a conscious creator. So we did that a bit online, and I also launched my first solo project online, which is called Love Without Limit. And the idea there, it's basically a contemporary course on love, eros, and relating. So, historically, everybody lived in monogamy. We had we met our partner, white picket fence, have 2.5 children, that whole storyline. Nowadays, the whole dating scene has completely transformed with, the rise of ethical non-monogamy or polyamory. I hate labels, so I don't love saying polyamory, but like all these alternative ways of dating and relating. And so I've brought together my life's work and my life's experience on how I meet a relationship, love, and sexuality, and I put it together in a 10-hour online program, which is soon going to be on online as an evergreen that you could do it at your own pace.
Wow. Oh my God. That's so amazing. That's just,
Wow.
again, helping so many people. Is your work, do you have a partner out here in Toronto doing this men's work as well?
Not the men's work, but I do
Okay.
have a partner named Carolyn Nyambingi, and she is one of my organizers for all my work, specifically the ISTA, Love Without Limit. And so she is more of my my partner, administrative, tactical, strategic, media. She is a great woman with great talents.
Oh my
I would
goodness.
love to, I could definitely introduce you to her. I would love to introduce you to her.
Oh, thank you. I would love that. That's so beautiful. Your work is just so incredible, so expansive, so high energy, so needed, so incredible. Thank you for all that you do.
I
It's
feel,
so beautiful.
I feel
Absolutely.
very lucky to have been able to
Wow.
follow my inner guidance and slowly take the steps needed to get on this path. And like every journey, it's like when we don't know where we're going, when we're a bit in the mystery, a bit like COVID. So it's like,
Mhm.
what do you do? Do you freeze, or do you continue to take one step at another after another, allowing spirit to kind of guide you? And my journey has been guided by spirit, or the unknown, or the mystery, whatever you want to call it. And it has got me to a place where I feel really in my truth and really in my life's purpose. So I'm very much in the flow right now.
Wow. And it's so beautiful. I look at, COVID, the situation of COVID and this metamorphosis opportunity that it's creating for those who are, awakening or starting to question and becoming more aware and wanting to take the steps with, let's say, with you and experiencing that incredible evolution. Wow, it just feels so good, so beautiful, and it's so
Yeah,
interesting. I love Costa Rica, and I've been traveling for 4 months. I ended up with a friend who said, "Come to Tanzania," and then we went to Serbia, and then we went to Montenegro, then we went to Albania. 4 places I would never think of
beautiful.
going, but they all had no travel restrictions and very few cases, and
Wow.
they're not part of the Commonwealth and all that stuff, so they're not getting as much
Right.
pressure yet. So there I was enjoying time, and then I was going to be a few more months, and then something just came to me suddenly, and it was this feeling like it was time, it was complete, and it was time now to get to Toronto. And that's when things have been crazy in Toronto and Montreal, as you know, and it got even crazier about a week and a half ago or something, 2 weeks ago, when they locked it down even further and all these other restrictions. But it's interesting how Costa Rica is a big calling for me too. And I look at, I'm sort of in this place right now, and probably many of our viewers too, of, oh my God, do we also go somewhere? Or even how can we create, even, there's some people who, I think Angel was even talking last week, with a family, it's a decision that probably would be a lot bigger than maybe someone like me who can just really just pick up. But this whole beautiful, creating a new reality for ourselves, right? And doing that, how beautiful if we could be in an incredible setting where the environment is completely different, And at the same time, is there something that you would suggest too for so many of our viewers who are, for whatever reason, they're in a place all over the world where they wish they see these freedoms happening in these other places, and for whatever reason they at the moment are not able to leave? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I would suggest follow inner guidance, and it's the inner guidance is that very subtle voice that's speaking to you. It's like pack up, leave, or bear down, or whatever it is that subtle voice is telling you. I would say follow that subtle voice. And that's the one major thing. When you're in a city and surrounded by concrete, and you're not in connection with the greater world, and we think that is reality, we actually lose touch with our nature, our personal nature. And when you find yourself in, the greens, the lushness of the everyday in Costa Rica, you recognize that there's more gifts to be given. And when it comes to those, like, small families or whatnot, I would say it's doable. It's all doable. I have my best friend right now who is working on also picking up his family and leaving Canada and coming to Costa Rica, because at a certain point you have to say enough is enough. If I don't want to be vaccinated and everything's moving towards the direction of vaccination passports and whatever, you want to find yourself in a safe place with renewable resources, with clean water, specifically clean water. And Costa Rica has multiple Waldorf schools for children. So it's not like you're coming to a third world country and there's no education options and whatnot. For those that want a solution, they will find a solution. Get creative, explore, research, and listen to your inner pulse and move with it.
Wow. And Angel, how did you find Frank? How did you guys find each other? This is so exciting.
Yes, exactly. So as soon as Frank starts answering that question, I think that you will understand how awesomeness got in touch with awesomeness. Actually, the one who is to blame for that introduction she has been very active here on the chat and on social media. So she's saying hello to all three of us. So
hello.
So go ahead, Frank.
Hello, hi Kelly. If you're here and you're writing, I'm just gonna say hi to Kelly. Kelly Love is. I was just in Miami with Kelly Love, and Kelly's like, she's like, would you want to be on a podcast about travel and like really changing the world? I'm like, yeah, for sure. I didn't even know who Angel was or you were. I'm just like, yeah, put me on. I'm happy to talk about this. So Kelly Love is not only a very good friend, but a dear love of mine. We share deep heart intimacy, physical intimacy, a beloved. And we've gone through a great journey. And what I appreciate about Kelly most is the fact that she is a woman on purpose. She is a woman that's on fire. She's clear. She has a vast understanding of what's going on in the world from her own personal research, from her own intuition, from her own guidance with spirit, and she's not afraid of speaking her mind. And I would say that I ruffle a lot of feathers as well, but she does as well. And in certain circles, I have people telling me, Frank, Kelly's out of control. Like, you need to say something to her. You need to rein her in. And first of all, I'm like, how dare you even speak to me like that? Do you expect a straight white male to tell a woman to simmer down now, simmer down? And I'm like, I will never tell Kelly Love to simmer down.
Yeah.
Kelly Love, it was also started as one of my students in one of my trainings. So I've seen her transformation and her step into the fullness of her power. And I only see a woman on purpose and on fire. And whether we agree or not, or whether on all things, or whether other people agree or not, I don't really care. What I do see is a being that is inspired. In Latin, we say in spiritu, and in spiritu, the root word of in spiritu is with spirit.
Yeah.
So Kelly is inspired, and she is with spirit. And there's no way I'm going to stand in front of that freight train and say, stop.
What a gorgeous, beautiful, divine, feminine goddess that she is. What a pleasure it was to have her
Exactly.
also on our podcast and to know her and to follow her now. Just so beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we said the other day, I don't know if you would like to do the ceremony with the cacao now, or we wait until we leave. It's up to you, Judy. You tell us what's the best timing for us, because it's a magic moment. So
yeah, it could really just be a little blessing.
Okay.
And we talked about last week. We talked a lot about consciousness, the different levels of consciousness. Really humbling ourselves when we truly understand the different levels of consciousness, because then we see that there's so many levels above us. And what cacao has done for me over the past few years has helped me to bring in this awareness and this conversation that I have all the time, which is, this is my current belief, and I'm open to a new belief so long as it comes from a place of higher consciousness, because there's so much lower consciousness. There's so much noise, everything out there. Most of anything that's happening at a mass level, as we know, is coming from a really low level of consciousness. And so it's just been such a beautiful gift for me. I love cacao for that reason. It's opened up my heart, like literally blasted it open, and then sprinkled all of my little stories and limiting beliefs that were keeping me stuck into my awareness as my heart is blasted open in such an emotional place. And from that place, I can bring in the compassion and see the other perspectives and just realize, seeing the bigger picture of what's happening, and that we're all on this beautiful journey of evolution. And so really, that's how Angel and I met, was through this. And we just decided, let's start bringing just at the very end, a beautiful little blessing, drinking cacao at the very end of our half-an-hour conversation together, this gorgeous time that we get to spend together, and just enjoying this journey of this plant, this teacher plant consciousness. These plants, all plants have consciousness. They're here to support us, to talk to us, to teach us, to help us, to bring us into this, specifically certain plants, into a higher consciousness, so we can see beyond that veil of illusions based on our level of consciousness. So we get this glimpse all of a sudden of what's going on up here, and then we get to release or let go or transmute, alchemize those stories, and just let them go and start raising in consciousness. And so I just want to, be so grateful for what the cacao has helped me with. Support anyone in the world to open up your heart, your mind to plant medicine. Just like Frank is doing, he's opening up even his physical world to plants and the medicine. And for those who maybe aren't in that nature setting as well, this is a beautiful way to open up your heart, and to allow this higher consciousness to surrender to what's about to come, which is these memories, these thoughts, these feelings, all based on our stories. And just allow yourself to sit with it, enjoy the journey, enjoy the magic carpet ride, I call it. And so I just want to wish that everyone just opens up their heart, open up your heart, and bring in more compassion into our lives. And everyone's all over the place with different opinions, and how can we get into a place of realizing it's all different journeys, different opinions, different journeys, all different places that people really are experiencing in order to evolve. And so thank you to Cacao, thank you to Angel, thank you to Frank, thank you to Kelly, thank you to everybody on this call, and let us all enjoy in whatever way, whatever medicines we're bringing into our life to help us to evolve beyond our limitations. Thank you.
Blessings.
Thank you. Blessings. And I have prepared a clip, a video clip that I would like to share, because last week we had a very intense moment here, and it really touched me, and I think it touched everybody in the audience. So I would like to share it, and I would like to also have Frank, and well, I'm sure that Kelly might have seen it already, but anyway, let me share this and tell me what you think.
Okay.
Just 1 second. Great music in the background, by the way, Frank.
Yeah, there's an Osho Kundalini meditation happening at the same time, and I'm like, oh my God, I have an interview.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I mean, what can I say, right? I mean, how can we possibly say no to that beauty? So I'm just trying to put the right thing. I have 3 monitors here. I'm just struggling a little bit here. So just 1 second.
Well, it's perfect. Even this space that we're
exactly.
Right
all right.
Now.
So.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, here we go. Exactly.
You know what? I had this beautiful realization this week. Like, and I thought of this before, but it was like at a cellular level, it was understood, and I truly felt it, and I believe it. And that is this. I no longer wish for what's happening in the world, the bigger, the people behind this, which are creating control and manipulation. I no longer wish for it to be over. I wish for the incredible transformations to happen to every single one of us from these restrictions, from what is being created around us. That's what I wish now, is for it to happen, for everyone to experience massive transformations, to shed who they think they were based on the programming which was created by all of this, start to shed it and create a whole new earth, because this really is the only way that we will come together and create a whole new earth, because otherwise everything was just convenient. Everything was just happening as is. We were just following orders, and we're just part of this illusion. So that was an enormous realization for me this week, was, you know what? I don't wish for it to be over. I just wish for my continued shedding and evolution, and everyone else's. And that's why, we know everything is divine all the time. Everything's divine all the time. So at some point, even though this really, the people are creating this, it's not coming from a place of the greater good. The bigger reason, again, when we expand even more, this is creating an opportunity for everyone else to realize the divinity in this, in us creating a new life for ourselves, in whatever that means.
Judy, I think that we should frame that. We should print it and frame it. And actually, honestly, this is one of the most powerful statements about what's going on in the world. Exactly. We are definitely living a divine plan, and that's the divine plan we're living right now. And everybody is living it in a different way. And I think that the implications and the consequences of living in this for a long period of time is going to cause a lot of, as you said, shedding from,
yes, for
a lot of people. And the more it continues, the more it's going to happen.
Wow. Oh
so
wow.
Yeah, so exactly. So we've been, we all of us, and Kelly and everybody we have brought to the show every single week. We've given obviously our testimonial of what our life has been for the last 12 to 14 months, right? And we have opted, we have made different decisions, and we have lived it in a different way. But this video clip that I just showed happened 10 days after Judy went back to Toronto after having been 4 months traveling the world, right? So, and we all, I think, as leaders, we all have been thinking for the last 12 to 14 months, what's our role in the world, right? What's our role? What are we here to do? What do we have to do to be the leaders of this change that we know it's happening? and everybody's living it from a different point of view. When you see this video, Frank, what comes to your mind?
I see a person that has has put herself in different situations and has allowed herself to integrate the different messages that she's been feeling, and relaxing into what is, trusting the process, and recognizing, like you said, that there's a defined plan, and how both of you said that this is a moment of shedding. And if we're stuck in the resistance, this is not a time to be in a resistance. This is not a time to be in fight against. It's a time to really go within and find your center and your truth and live from that place. And I mean, unless there's forcing any experimental biological agents on us, I don't think it's anything that we need to fight. I think there's opportunity here. And I so agree with you when you say that the more this plays out, the more this happens. This has forced people to stop and listen and pay attention. And if you're paying any type of attention, it is also coming with a level of new awareness, a new awakenedness, and that will support people to get into a more aligned and greater purpose. And that could look like from doing stuff that I'm doing, which is serving people, to taking care of your family in a way that is more natural and healthy than ever before. It's like the virus, that's what it's given us the opportunity. It's given us the opportunity to say, how do we treat our body? How do we increase our immune system? This should be the number one conversation that we're having by all our impotent governments. Should be a major education plan on how to take care of our bodies, how to increase immunity, vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, so on and so forth. But we've heard nothing of this. We've only heard of these symptomatic covers like masks that maintain us in this smaller and subservient role, and counting on Big Daddy, whatever it is outside of ourselves, to take care of ourselves. Well, it's time to find Big Daddy internally and and meet the world, like you say, from where we're at, and allow it to use this to really bring out our potential and our divinity, because this is the moment that we've been waiting for, and we are the ones we've been waiting for.
Absolutely. And Judy, watching the video clip from last week, and after having been, I guess you are out of quarantine now, right? You've been more than 2 weeks in Toronto. So how do you see that video now? I mean, when you see yourself 1 week after the realization, 1 week and 10 days, how is your life right now?
Well, it's interesting, because for me, the space, I love to live in the space, the silence, the pause in between, things that are happening in my life. And I'm just loving that space. I'm just look at all this space that we suddenly have, time, space. What are we doing with this space and time, and losing yourself in this space? And again, the more we go inward, the more we can get deeper, and just loving it. So yes, I'm enjoying outside, although it has been cold and rainy for the last few days when I've finally been able to get out, but still loving it outside. And that's one of the things I loved from Europe, was it was a little bit cool. Just get out, have coffee out, eat outside. What a different realization for me in Toronto, having lived most of my life here, is every morning go outside and enjoy and eat outside, even though it's cold and winter. That was huge for me this past year. That was the beginning of a whole new awareness too, was how have I been restricting myself with this? And I heard this story from somebody who said that their neighbors are from somewhere, and every single day in Toronto, they eat outside, whether it's winter and snow. And I was like, what? That's crazy. And then went, why do I think that's crazy? And so these realizations are coming for all of us. And the question is, are we taking the time to sit with it? Because I could have just dismissed that like I have my whole life and said, that's ridiculous. Why would I eat outside in Toronto when it's snowing? When now it's like, are you kidding me? That's where I have my coffee every morning, whether it's snow, rain, whatever, I'm outside. That's my thing now.
Absolutely. Awesome. Wonderful. Okay. So we're actually overtime today, but it's been amazing to have you, Frank. I mean, I'm sure
Thank you.
also speaking, from the bottom of my heart, and also from Judy's heart, which is really big. So, Frank, if people want to know more about you, what's the easiest way to connect with you?
Yeah, best way is myname.com. So Frank, F-R-A-N-K, Mondose, M like in mother, ONDEOSE.com, frankmondose.com. There it's basically a portal into all my work. I have a web show on YouTube that's been going on for 6 years about my travels. I have a podcast that I started about a year ago. So there's very good education pieces there. There's real content on the podcast, and my schedule and a whole other bunch of stuff on my website that you'll find out a bit more. If you dig about Frank Mondose, you'll find a whole rabbit hole that is highly interesting. Let me just tell you that much, because I've just shared with you like the third incarnation of Frank Mondose. There's also a second.
So. That's a little warning.
Awesome.
I love it.
Excellent.
Oh, I cannot wait to share, with everyone that I know and beyond, whoever's listening.
Absolutely.
Share you, your heart, your work, everything that you're doing. Thank you, Frank. This is such a beautiful gift. What a beautiful way to start our weekend.
Absolutely.
So incredible. And I cannot wait to follow you, to watch you, to one day meet you in Costa Rica.
Exactly.
Or Toronto or Canada.
Or Toronto, wherever. Thank you.
I want to take a moment to thank you both as well. Appreciate what the work you're doing. Having these conversations, meeting people for where they're at, and supporting them to think deeper and connect with their heart. I feel one thing, when I looked into you, Angel, a bit, I felt like, okay, CEO, confidant, that's like very mindy and businessy, and then you have your perfect ally here, Judy, with her cacao and her heart, and then you have me with my body and my sexuality and all of it. Together we make one amazing being.
Right.
You're doing great work. Congratulations. And thank you for the invitation. Seriously.
Thank you so much. It's been amazing. As we always say, Frank, I think that we all are part of the same mission, and everybody we started this show obviously just recently. I don't know how many shows we've done already, but we've been maybe 3 months already.
3 months,
and every show is different. Every show has as you know, a life of its own, and it's been amazing to have you here today. So thank you for showing up to the world the way you do it. It's been a pleasure to have you. Thank you again to Kelly for the introduction. And before we go, I would like to also ask Judy, please, everybody who would like to have this amazing experience with cacao, what can they do? How can they reach out to you? Where can they find this special cacao, ceremonial cacao?
Well, Goddess Temple Cacao, whether it's Instagram or YouTube or even the website, it's all the same. The YouTube channel has lots of great videos to help you understand what is plant medicine, how does this work, how is this different from psychedelics, let's say, how can you connect? So Goddess Temple Cacao is perfect.
Wonderful. All right. To everybody listening to us, I'm sure that you have started a very upbeat Saturday today, because that's what we have created exactly.
Yeah.
We did it exactly. I'm going to put some electronic music, which is one of my favorite things to do, to dance on electronic music, and I love that music. So anyway, thank you everybody who's watching us today, thank you again for being with us with Expansion Network. This is your home, as you know, Frank. This is your home, the home of the Remember, again, MEN, Remember Brotherhood journey that you started and co-founded a few, I guess, years ago, right? Yeah. This is your home. This is obviously the home of the Goddess Temple Cacao, as every single weekend. And I'm sure that for everybody watching us today, you've had a blast. Keep on enjoying your life. Keep on being here. As you know, we are not here to judge anybody. We are here to build those bridges that we are building every single week. We understand that there has been a lot of, as I always say, I consider myself to be the connector of the unconnected. I'm having chills every time I say it, and I think that there's been a lot of people that have actually get themselves unconnected from the world and from the rest of us, We are here to reconnect you, and we are here to offer you a different perspective of what's going on in the world. That's it. Again, we are not here to judge anybody, just to help you with discernment, That's it. So thank you very much. I'm sure that you have enjoyed the show as much as we have. We hope to see you again next Saturday. Reality check on the world, right? Living the world without living your life without fear. Thank you very much again, and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.